Hello, all my crafty people out there. It is time for our weekly project. If you have not been here before, my name is Stephanie and I upcycle clothing. Generally things I find at my local thrift stores, sometimes estate sales. But today I need some quick and easy gifts. Stocking stuffers, gifts for friends, at work, that kind of thing. Just simple but meaningful. So I have a few pieces of scrap that I thought we might be able to put to use. First, some leftover from our circle vest that we did last week. Super fuzzy and soft. I think this is going to make a great project. There's not very much of it. Don't need a lot. It's got a little bit of stretch. I have a scrap piece of, it's kind of like stretchy thermal fabric. It's got that kind of waffle that thermal does. Just a little bit of piece of it. And then we have this weird thing. My daughter bought this to go on the back of her jacket. And it's a onesie, but I think that we can use half of it for ourselves. So if you want to follow along, by all means do like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to hype. I'll see you at the table. Okay, everybody. These are our wild and crazy materials for our 3 little projects. I think these will be pretty quick, easy, and like I said, easy to drop into gifts as extras, stocking stuffers, you name it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with this nice funky fabric. It looks like thermal fabric. It's got that waffle. It's got a stretch both ways, but it's got a lot more stretch this way. We're going to make a pair of fingerless gloves. It's a super simple project. It takes very little time. The thing you want to be concerned about is where that stretch is. The most stretch is right here because you're going to have to get your hand up into this glove. So you want to give the most stretch to the width of the glove, not the height. Not from the here to here, but from here to here. So once we've decided that stretch, we want to turn it like this. And we're going to fold it in. Now, if this was a 2-sided piece of fabric, in other words, a right and a wrong side, you would want the right side in the middle, inside the fold. Okay? And what I have done, this is about 14 inches all the way across. And it's about a yard of fabric because I think that's what I had left is a yard. So we're just kind of lining these up like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get them as even as possible. Just for the fact that we want to save as much fabric as possible. Then we're going to turn them in like this. And all we really need in this width here is the ability to cover our hand. And we don't need to cover it a lot. In other words, it doesn't have to be huge. We just have to be able to cover enough of it that our whole hand fits on that piece of fabric. That just seems to work better. So I'm just cutting these off. It's a little easier when you just have the pieces to deal with. And I'm just slicing into this. Doesn't have to be perfect. But again, I just want to show you, you have your stretch this way. You're folding in with the right sides in, if you have a right side. So here's your fold line. And then you're folding over like this. Okay? We've done that to both of them. So your edges are here and here, your raw edges. And this particular fabric, fortunately, doesn't ravel. So, all good. So, now what I want to do is I'm going to put my hand here. Kind of gauge where I want my glove to be. how big I want my glove to be. And I'm going to use this marker, and I'm going to come down like this. And I'm going to stop where I want it, right there at my knuckle. And I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to just go down to the end of the fabric. We can adjust the length of that when we're through. So you can see I don't know if you can see it on this particular fabric, but there is my handprint, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing, although it doesn't matter. You could do it on the same way for your other hand. So we're just going to do it like this. Again, folds, folds, open, open. Oh, nope. Hello, Stephanie. Come on, get it right. And I think that's about how much I left, was just the fingertips up at the top. Okay? And again, I'm sure I don't need to do it this way because they're reversible. But I'm just liking to make my life a little difficult. Alright. Let's see where my hand is. That's about where my knuckle is. So I'm just drawing a line across there. Okay. Now we've got our two outlines like that. So let's go to the machine, and all we're going to do is go and sew on those lines. We're going to leave this open and this open. We're going to sew on the lines and see how it goes. Okay, I'm just following the lines I drew on both of the gloves, and you leave the top of the thumb open and you leave the bottom open where they all meet. Okay, we have sewn on our finger and our hand, and again we've got folds at the top and folds at the sides. So we're just going to cut it open, and how we do that is just going to go down this side, and we can go up here if we want, or we can just cut it short however you want. Now I'm going to cut it short across here, and I found in the other glove that I needed to adjust that length once I did that, but that's okay. Like this. Alright, and there's our glove. Doesn't look like much of a glove yet. And then you open it from one of these. It doesn't matter which one. You just take one of them, and I pulled out the finger first, like that, and then you turn the rest of the glove over. And voila, like magic, you've got a glove. And these are great to make on the fly. You could make them very easily. You can make them in a large number. Now see, I needed to cut off a little more of my thumb. And voila. So I have it long, but if you want to wear it shorter, if you don't need the length, like that. And like this. These are great for those people that get cold, especially at their desk, or even when they're doing things like crafting and needlepoint or knitting or something like that. So, gift number one, easy to stuff in a stocking, and you can make it obviously out of anything that's stretchy enough to stretch when you put your hand in it. You just make sure it's got enough stretch. I don't think you could have too much stretch. So, there's our first project. Okay, here's our next gift. It's going to be a scarf, a close neck scarf. And I originally cut this to a 15 by 30 and found that it just didn't fit properly. So I changed it to a 10 by 30. And when you fold it in half, that meant you only had a 5-inch, width there. So once I did that, I went and serged it. And I serged it from the long side and I serged it from one of the short ends. So that one and the long side. And then I can turn it to finish it out. Okay, I just ran that through the serger, this end and this end. I just thought it'd be faster. Anyway, and we're going to turn it inside out like this. We really wouldn't have to do this because this isn't going to fray, but we're giving it a finished look. And if you were using other fabric that did fray, of course, this would be perfect, but you don't have to. So this is right here. And now we're going to fold it a special way, but let me go serge this in real quick. Okay, here's where the magic is. This is my serged end. I just close the end. And what you're going to do is if you fold it over like this, then you turn it towards you so it looks like this. You see how it looks like that? Then you're going to put this right here across that. So you're turning the circle. Now, I had to look at this several different times and try it. I'm going to pin it to show you what it does before I go over there and sew it, just so you see. And you could pin it, obviously, before you sew it, just to make sure you've got it folded the right way. But essentially, we're making a circle. And we're going to end it here. So when you turn it over, you will have the perfect little neck scarf. And we're going to put some buttons over here to make it look like it's button closed, but it's not going to be. I found these big square buttons I thought were kind of cool. So, some my mom gave me. We used to love to collect buttons. So I'm going to put 2 of those here and just kind of make them look like they're fastening it down. I could go bigger, but I kind of like this. So I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew down my serge side right down the back here and make our finished scarf. Here I am just making that one seam. I made it from the front just so I could see what it would look like. I didn't want to do it blind from the back. And here I am just attaching the faux buttons. Make it look all simple and cute. Okay, I ran across a little problem when I tried to use the rest of this onesie shirt. It's not long enough. I have a larger head and this wasn't going to work. So I'm going to have to save the remaining piece for my daughter's jacket. And I switched it up to something I really like. Jack Skellington. So I have cut 2 pieces. This is a gray, and of course this is the Jack Skellington. They're both jersey. This is a 4-inch by 23-inch. The original one that I saw online was 20 inches, but like I said, I need a little more for my head. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them together like this. And it doesn't matter if they're right sides together at this point, but we're folding them together. So we folded them, and then we're going to fold them like this. So you see we folded them again. Now we're going to do something creative. Actually, it's just, there's no set angle on this. It's just, it's almost a 90-degree angle that I'm using. But I'm just going to cut into this. So now we have the 2 pieces with this angle that looks kind of like you would use on a ribbon for packaging. So what we're going to do is we're going to go sew down both these sides. And I am probably going to do that with the serger. Okay, sew down both of those sides, and then we're going to turn it inside out. Okay, we've got it serged on both sides. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take it and turn it inside out. Might take a minute because, you know, it's got to be extra long for me. Ooh, that higher head. Anyway, now we're going to take it. I'm going to kind of stretch it out here. It's jersey, so it's going to be curly. That's okay. And we're going to fold it sort of like the scarf, except when we fold it up like this, we are going to fold it in like this. Okay, do you see that? So it's they're not facing each other. Well, the right sides are facing to each other, and we're going to fold this end over and fold this end over. And see, what we're creating is all that's being exposed on this seam is the gray, or what would probably be the side that you don't care about showing. So I'll just pin it and show y'all what it looks like. Now my ends aren't perfectly even, but when we serge over it, it'll be fine. Oh, there's my pin. So when we serge over this seam, what will end up looking like is this cute little knot that looks kind of neat, and it looks a little different obviously in this print, but you can see where it knots like that. So we're going to go over there and serge over that seam, this one right here, where all you see is the gray meeting, and it will turn out. Fingers crossed. Okay, turned it, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of hard to see on this side because it's, you know, it's got a pattern. But if you turn it over, see, that's the part I serged, so it's not really, it doesn't look good. But you can see the way the knot runs. And it looks really cute if it's solid colored. You can see it better, obviously, but this one is a little bit smaller. It's going to be for my granddaughter, but I made the bigger one for myself. Okay, everybody, we have fingerless gloves. And as long as the fabric doesn't fray, you really don't have to worry about finishing it. But, I mean, if you wanted to finish the edges, you could. I love this scarf. It's so comfortable. It's so soft. You could make this very easily, any color imaginable. Great for friends and family. These are good stocking stuffers, and so is the headband. I plan to stuff a couple of them in my granddaughter's stockings. So just some quick ideas. They shouldn't take you any more than 15 minutes. The tricky part is just how you fold them together when you make those final serges, like on this and on the top. And these are a little confusing when you first look at them, but I swear you'll get it. If you enjoyed this, by all means, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hype, and I will catch y'all on the flip side of our next project.